Is Polish public transport really as good as everyone says? I've seen endless posts online raving about how clean, efficient, and affordable it is. But is it actually true? Or just one of those travel myths you hear about but never experience firsthand? Today, we're diving into Poland's public transport system to see if it really lives up to the hype. From buses to trams, trains to metros, we'll explore what makes it tick and whether it's worth relying on during your next trip. Poland is a country that surprises visitors at every turn. Its cities are filled with history, culture, and life. But like any place, getting around efficiently can make the difference between a stress-filled day and a memorable adventure. For years, travelers have raved about Polish public transport. But what exactly does that mean? Is it punctual, affordable, comfortable, or is it just another example of travel hype that looks great online but falls short in reality? Let's start with the basics. Poland's public transport is a mix of buses, trams, commuter trains, and metros. Each city has its own flavor. Warsaw, the capital, boasts a modern metro system complemented by an extensive network of buses and trams that cover almost every corner of the city. Kraków and Wrocław, while smaller, are famous for their trams which glide through the streets like clockwork. Even smaller towns rely on buses, connecting neighborhoods to city centers in a way that's surprisingly reliable. One of the first things that strikes visitors is how easy it is to buy tickets. Gone are the days of fumbling with coins at a ticket booth. Today, most cities offer multiple options: apps, ticket machines, and even SMS-based ticketing in some areas. And if you're moving around a big city like Warsaw, the unified ticketing system is a game changer. You can hop from a tram to a bus and never have to worry about paying twice. That's the kind of convenience that makes public transport feel effortless. Affordability is another major selling point. A single ride in Warsaw costs roughly 4 to 6 Polish zloty, which is less than $2. Day passes run around 15 Polish zloty, roughly $3 to $4. Compare that to London or Paris, where a single journey can cost 10 times as much. And suddenly Polish transport looks like a steal. For budget travelers or long-term visitors, this affordability can be a huge relief. And it's one of the reasons so many locals and tourists alike prefer public transport over taxis or ride-hailing apps. Accessibility is also impressive. Most modern buses and trams are wheelchair-friendly, and boarding is generally smooth even if you have luggage or kids in tow. In larger cities, stops often have English signage, which is a lifesaver if you don't speak Polish. For visitors, it's the kind of thoughtful design that shows the system isn't just functional, it's designed for people. Of course, affordability and accessibility are only part of the story. What about reliability? Here's where skeptics often pause. Can you really depend on public transport to get you where you need to go? In most cases, the answer is yes. Warsaw's metro, for instance, runs every 2 to 5 minutes during peak hours. Trams and buses stick closely to timetables, though smaller towns or off-peak hours can sometimes see minor delays. For first-time visitors, apps like Jak2Jade are a game changer. They allow you to plan your route in real time, check for delays, and even see which tram or bus will get you there fastest. For someone unfamiliar with the city, these apps reduce anxiety and make navigating Poland feel intuitive. In fact, some travelers report that after just a day or two, using public transport in Poland feels almost second nature. Comfort is another pleasant surprise. Modern trams and buses are clean, air-conditioned, and surprisingly quiet. Regional trains vary depending on the line, but intercity trains known as PKP Intercity offer modern seating, Wi-Fi on some routes, and enough legroom to make a few hours of travel comfortable. Even the older regional trains are functional and reliable. For travelers used to cramped or unreliable systems elsewhere, it can feel like a luxury. Safety is another factor that sets Poland apart. Pickpocketing isn't a major concern on public transport, and staff are generally helpful if you need directions or assistance. Like any city, it's wise to stay alert, especially at night, but overall, public transport in Poland is a safe, welcoming experience for travelers. But here's the thing. Polish public transport isn't just about efficiency, it's about immersion. Riding a tram through Kraków or a bus through Wrocław allows you to experience daily life in a way taxis or ride-shares never will. You'll see locals commuting to work, students heading to school, and grandparents stopping by the market. You'll hear snippets of conversations, street musicians, and even the occasional announcement in Polish that you might not understand. But somehow, it adds to the charm. Public transport becomes a window into the city itself. There are occasional drawbacks, of course. During rush hour, buses and trams can get crowded, and delays do happen. Smaller towns may not have the same frequency or modern infrastructure as Warsaw or Kraków. But for the most part, the system functions remarkably well, especially compared to public transport in many other European countries. So, after exploring the buses, trams, trains, and metros of Poland, what's the verdict? Is it really as good as the hype? The answer for most travelers is yes. Affordable, accessible, reliable, and surprisingly comfortable. Polish public transport is a powerful tool for exploring the country. More than that, it's a way to connect with the city and its people in a meaningful way. Next time you're planning a trip to Poland, consider skipping the taxi line and hopping on a tram or bus instead. You might just discover that public transport isn't just a means of getting from point A to B. It's a key part of the experience, a way to see the country through the eyes of those who live there every day. And who knows, by the end of your journey, you might be raving about it too, just like so many travelers before you.